This whole thing started in the summer of 2011 when there was a fire at the North River wastewater treatment plant in West Harlem. And that fire caused them to take the plant offline. We had just put a bunch of high school kids in big rowing boats and sent them out. And they came back saying, wow, it really kind of smells up there around 23rd Street. And we just couldn't get any information. Couldn't say what the water quality was. All they could say was that those results would be available in a month, because that's how long their process took. And we were just like, wow, that's unbelievable. We have to have a better system. In the summer, we sample at about 40 sites all around the harbor. And then at the labs, we process them for bacteria. We're looking at it from the standpoint of the recreational user and the protection of the public from a public health angle. It's 8:59, and I write that on the lid. And I also write the location, which is Pier 101. And then I just reach over the side of the boat and that sample gets ice pack in here to keep it cool. And then it's just grown every year since, because people really do want to know, what is the water quality like at my launch site? And how long does it take after a big rainstorm to come back to normal? We always test on Thursdays, so the results are available Friday, so that people who are going out for the weekend have the most recent possible data. The other part of the job is oysters, obviously, and so we need to restock some cages with fresh oysters. There you go. Oh, that's a nice one.
The baby oysters attach themselves onto that main shell, and then the eats start growing, and so you have like a clump.
Everybody has been brought up to think it's poisoned, and if you get in the water, you're going to get sick, and it's just really not true. And you have to go out there and demonstrate that with data and pictures and documentation.
Thomas from that way. Although, who knows? I may change my mind. I've been swimming in the Hudson for about 4 years now. Although this year, because of the pandemic, my regular swimming pool has been closed, and I've been swimming in the Hudson every day, pretty much. And some days I swim twice. Usually when I tell people I swim in the Hudson, the first question is, aren't you worried about the pollution? The pollution is not usually a problem. This is actually a very clean river. So I'm not concerned.
Every now and then something happens that makes you wonder, like this TikTok story this summer when the girl jumped in at the Statue of Liberty and she triggered, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of responses. And most of them were, get to the emergency room right away. And it just was so misguided, but also, such a huge response that it just makes you wonder, are we ever going to get past this idea that the harbor is poisonous?
This here is a reagent. It's special bacteria food for the Enterococcus bacteria with a fluorescent property to it. So when the bacteria eats it, it will then fluoresce. And it's important to shake the sample itself before you pull it out, just in case there is any bacteria and it's settled to the bottom.
Which we now put into this, it's called a quanta tray. It's basically like an ice tray. It has 99 different wells. Some are small, some larger, one really large.
And then goes into its custom tray.
The protocols say 24 to 26 hours in the incubator. That's pretty standard. That's how long it takes the bacteria to reproduce and form colonies. One of the great things about this technique is because of the fluorescent dye, it's very intuitive. When you look at the tray, you instantly see whether the sample is contaminated or not. All of those cells are illuminated, the big ones, and some of the smaller wells are also illuminated. And here's a sample where you can really only see one cell illuminated. And this is taken down in Red Hook at a place called Pier 12. Ultimately, clean water is really the key to public access. If the water's clean and people know it's clean, they'll use the water. And I think it'd be a healthier place and a more beautiful place if we could do that.